Hello, everyone, and welcome in. Welcome into people watching. Welcome into people listening. I, of course, am Matt Verderame. We are ready to go. Hope you enjoyed your weekend. I know that I did. Tell you what, though, it's cold as hell outside now. So hopefully, where you are, it's a little bit warmer. But we are here and in action. Hey, Alan, Mighty, Eric, Mike, John, Alex, Trell, how you guys doing? All right, everybody at this point, I'm sure, knows the drill. If you are watching, go right ahead and comment in the video chat on the Arrowhead Addict podcast. We are, of course, live. If you are listening and you're listening on Twitter, just go ahead and respond with a question in the chat, and we are good to go. All right, let's get into it. Sorry for my voice; it's a little bit on the fritz. We'll make it through. All right. So real quickly, so a huge shakeup yesterday, right? I mean, that I think is the biggest commentary coming out of this game or coming out of this week, rather, is everything changed in the AFC playoff picture. The Chiefs are now the number 1 seed. The Bills are the number 6 seed after falling down a couple of pegs in the AFC East with that wild loss against Minnesota. If you go over to 538, I think they do a pretty good job of laying out the situation. You can even play with their model a little bit, which I like. The five AFC teams that are going to make the playoffs, barring a complete collapse, are Kansas City, Buffalo, Baltimore, Tennessee, and Miami, all of which have more than a 90% chance to get in the playoffs. The Titans have a 90% shot to win the AFC South. The Chiefs are at 96% to win the West. But what really changed yesterday is the Chiefs became the Super Bowl favorites in terms of winning it all. They're at 21%. Of course, the Eagles to play tonight. If the Eagles were to win, both teams would sit at 21%. And then the first round bye, the Chiefs have a 49% shot at it. So that's what changed there. In the NFC, not as much change. I mean, the Cowboys lost. It hurts their chances to win the division, but it doesn't hurt their chances really to make the playoffs. The Niners, by winning their games, a huge win. They are now the favorites in 538's model to win the NFC West. Seattle still a great shot to make the playoffs. Giants going to make the playoffs. So I think really the story coming out of yesterday was the AFC. That's how I walk away from it. And look, it sets up now for the last 8 games of the year to be pretty much a match race with Kansas City, Buffalo, and don't forget Baltimore, who has, I believe, the easiest schedule left in football. Baltimore maybe is going to lose 1 or 2 more games, and 2 might be a stretch. So keep an eye on the Ravens, who are playing good ball, getting better every week. Was active at the deadline, got Roquan Smith. So keep an eye on what Baltimore can do. All right. Let me start here. Mike Taffner saying, I hope Juju's okay. I haven't seen any updates on him. His mother put on Instagram that he's A-okay. Mahomes was talking about yesterday that he was laughing, giggling in the locker room yesterday after the game. So sounds at least like he's in good spirits, feeling better. That's obviously great news. All right. DeWither asking, did you see that the Bills had 12 men on the field on that play when Kirk fell over on the goal line, which led to a stop? Officiating was bad this weekend. I did see that. Yeah, the officiating was awful this weekend. I feel like I make it a point not to complain about officiating because I just feel like it's a waste of time. You're always going to have human error. This year has seemed particularly egregious. It has been bad. It has been really bad. Like to the point that if you're in the NFL, do you start thinking about maybe making these guys full-time officials and actually like going through the paces of really training them? Because it's bad. It's been bad this year. I agree with you. Alex, would you start Kadarius Tony or MVS in a fantasy points per reception league? I'm terrible at fantasy. Actually, I'm not this year. Actually, I'm kicking ass this year in fantasy. I'm like 7-3, but I'm normally I'm not good at it. You know what? PPR, I might go with Tony, man. I might go with Tony. Of course, that means MVS is about to have 200 yards next week. And Adam asked me next question. Do you play fantasy football? So how's your team holding up? Yes. We have the Arrowhead Addict podcast. One of the perks of being a member of it, which you can become a member right on your screen. If you're on YouTube right now, you can join. You can hit the join button. There's a league that we're all in, or at least some of us who want to participate are in. It's a 12-team league. I am in that league. Again, I have become dominant. I am 7-3. My team name could use some work. It's like Verderame's Victories, which at first was not accurate because I was 1-2, but now I've rolled in a big way. All right. Joshua, do you think the Bills are relying too much on Josh Allen to produce? Yeah, my whole column, my Stack the Box column that you can read on Twitter, that I tweeted out a couple hours ago. It's also up on the front page of Fansided. You can check that out. Yes, I do. I wrote about it. That was my lead. Josh Allen is accounting for more than 84% of Buffalo's offense right now when you factor in his passing and rushing yardage. That's a wild amount. I will tell you, though, as a Chiefs fan, don't get too smug because Mahomes is at over 82%. Those numbers are way too high. They're unsustainable. Historically speaking, those numbers are astronomical. You should be between 70, 72, no higher, like 75. The Chiefs and the Bills are asking so much of the quarterbacks. It's insane. The one difference is Allen is also asked to run the ball in a way Mahomes is not. That is the one difference. No quarterback in NFL history, or excuse me, in the Super Bowl era, has ever led their team in rushing and even got into a title game in the conference, a conference title game. They never reached an AFC or NFC championship game. They're asking a ton of Allen, and I do think that's part of the reason he's turning the ball over a lot now. He's forcing the issue. It's becoming a problem. Let's keep rolling. Okay. Let's see. Ronald, how concerned should we be with special teams going forward? Are the problems fixable? I think they are fixable, but they are problems. I mean, Butker has been up and down all year long. They have too many muff punts. I think they have rectified that by removing Sky Moore. The idea that they have to return every kick, I'll never understand. But that's been a coaching point under Tobe for years. I don't think is getting fixed because Dave Tobe, that's what he wants to do. And I think Dave Tobe, in terms of his coaching as a special teams guru, look, he's one of the best. He's been for a long time. That is one thing I just don't understand. They return balls inside the 10, inside the 5 all the time. I don't get it. I think they can fix a lot of their special team stuff, but some of it I think is kind of just here to stay and has been around for a while. All right. Not A says, do you think Mahomes is the obvious MVP frontrunner after the weekend? If so, who is second and how close are they? I think he is after this weekend. He's leading the league in passing yardage. He's leading the league in touchdown passes. He's I think second in QBR to Tua. They're 7-2. They're the best record in the AFC. Yeah, he's on pace to set the all-time single-season passing record. Yeah, I think he's MVP. Hurts and Tua for me are 2-3 right now. Allen just has too many turnovers. I mean, he's got 10 picks. He's leading the league in picks. You can't be the MVP and lead the league in picks. I'm sorry. So, yes, I think MVP right now, Mahomes, no doubt. Chandler, outside of the Bills, what AFC team scares you the most? Miami, because they can score a ton of points. And if you get into a game like that where neither one of you can stop the other one, sometimes it's who's got the ball last. You never know who's going to have it. Do I think the Chiefs would beat Miami? Yeah, because I don't know that Miami could stop the Chiefs. But Miami's good, man. And Miami's creative offensively. That would not be an easy, and Hill would want to go for 400 yards in that game. That would be a very difficult game. Predict the future of Clyde, asks Allen. The bench, mostly. I think at this point the Chiefs have made their decision and they're going with it. We'll see how it shakes out, but that would be my guess. Mighty asks, how much of Tua's success do you think is due to Hill and Waddle? He didn't look anything special prior to Hill. Well, I think it's chicken and egg, right? I mean, Tua had no offensive scheme around him the first couple of years of his career. And they had Waddle and nothing else. Now they have Hill, and all of a sudden, look at this. They're really, really good, right? I think that, yes, Hill is certainly making his life a hell of a lot easier, but that's part of it. That's part of the game. It's team sport. So, yes, I mean, Hill's made him a lot better, but Tua's risen to the occasion. And he deserves a lot of credit for that. KL368, hey, man, how you doing? How do you see the young QBs, or excuse me, how do you see the young corners progressing? Is this the best DB unit we've had in the Mahomes era? All been impressive tackling. Yeah, I think it has the upside to be. McDuffie's looked really good in limited action. Snead, is really good. Watson and Williams can play. They are young, but they are good. They are. They also have a nice blend of athleticism and size and speed and the ability to tackle. You could sell me on that they're the best corners they've had. You could. You definitely could. All right. Let's see what we got. By end of year, asks Eddie E. Hey, Ed, is this the best defense in the Mahomes era? We'll see. 2019's defense by the end was lockdown, man. By the end of the year, they're giving up like 10 points a game. But I think this team's more talented defensively than any other one he's had. But they've got to put it together. I want to see that front four continue to dominate the way it did yesterday. They do that, then yeah. Wayne, what confidence do you have in Chiefs holding the 1 seed against the best teams with turnovers and special teams like yesterday? Well, I mean, none if they do what they did yesterday. I mean, you're -3 in the turnover battle. You're losing most of those games, okay? They defied a lot of logic yesterday. Now, if they play well, I think the Chiefs can lose one more game and still be the 1 seed because I don't think anybody's run the table. Okay, I don't think Baltimore's run the table. I don't think Buffalo's going to run the table. If the Chiefs only lose one more game, I think they're the 1 seed. And if you look at their schedule, they play 3 games against teams with winning records. Chargers, Bengals, Seahawks. Seahawks at home, the other 2 on the road. Their other 5 games are games they should absolutely plow the team they're playing. The Rams probably without Cooper Kupp. Denver twice. The Texans and the Raiders in Week 18. So basically, in my eyes, as long as you win the games you're going to be a double-digit favorite in, which is no gimme, just ask the Titans game. Do they win 2 or 3 against the Chargers, the Bengals, and the Seahawks? I would say yes, they do. I think the Chiefs will be the 1 seed, provided they handle their business. And they just don't beat themselves week in and week out. Do you think any other AFC West team besides the Chiefs gets into the playoffs? Well, I've got the Bills, the Chiefs, the Titans, and the Ravens winning their divisions. Miami's getting in the playoffs. I don't think anybody from the AFC South is outside the winner of the division. Cincy's got a brutal schedule, but I like Cincy a lot. Jets are good. I don't think the Pats are going to make it. I will say that the Chargers, to me, it's the Chargers or the Jets. I'll say the Chargers get in, but don't hold me to that because I have to look at the schedules and really compare them. I'd say the Chargers get, but God, the Chargers are so weird, man. Anything's possible. T, is it time to admit the Chiefs have to avoid playing the Dolphins at all costs? No. I think the Dolphins are really good. I would say that teams should be avoiding to play the Chiefs at all costs. Like, come on. That game would probably be in Kansas City in frigid temperatures. Listen, the Dolphins would scare you, but the Chiefs, honest to God, might score 50 points in that game. Like, I don't know that you're like quaking in your boots. I respect them, and the Dolphins could win the game. But would I go that? No. I don't think the Chiefs have to avoid anybody at any cost. All right. How do you think, Alex says, how do you think some of these other top teams would do if they lost their top 2 receivers for a game like the Chiefs did? Probably not well. But, listen, the Chiefs, that was what they built this team on, was an ensemble cast. It's not a movie set, right? It's not 1 or 2 big stars. It's an ensemble. And they were able to survive yesterday. Give them credit. No, I don't think the Bills will win the game without Diggs or Davis. But let's also be fair, too. The Chiefs also had Kelsey. So the Chiefs really lost their second receiver. And then, Hardman's like their number 4 receiver. So there's a little bit of wiggle room in that one. But listen, regardless, it was an impressive win. Good job by the Chiefs. All right. Jason asks, at this point, who do you think are the 3 best teams in the AFC? Kansas City, Buffalo, Miami, in that order. And I'm somebody who's been sitting here picking Buffalo to win the Super Bowl. I'm getting to a point of, like, you've got to diversify your offense if you're Buffalo. You have to be able to do something other than Allen just gets every yard that you have. That doesn't play. I'm writing a huge article on that this week. It does not play historically. It does not. And if the Bills continue to ask him to be their leading rusher and be everything in the passing games, obviously it has to be in that regard, you're not going to win. You're not. Historically speaking, you are not winning. And by the way, I would shout out Baltimore. I just think Baltimore in the playoffs is so limited throwing the ball. I think it kills them in the playoffs. I do. I think they're going to get in the playoffs, and everybody's going to be excited. And then they're going to get into a game where they've got to throw the ball, and they can't do it. Like, everybody's talking about how great they looked against New Orleans in that Monday night game. Lamar was 12 of 22 for $133. Like, you're not winning a playoff game doing that. And I'm not even blaming him. They have no weapons. But, it's like their passing game is anemic. You're not going to beat Kansas City and Buffalo. I didn't think Miami in a playoff game when you can't do anything. Miami, maybe because their defense is so bad. Maybe you just run it for 300 yards. But, they're not going to Kansas City and Buffalo and winning against them in a playoff game. They're not. Not with that offense. Not the way they have to play. Okay. Let me keep rolling. I don't want to miss anybody here. Kyle says, here comes that obligatory Chiefs run. Haven't lost in November or December since 2019, which is just insane. Haven't lost a 325 kick since week 9 of 2017. That's a great poll. If Mahomes wins MVP, are you worried that a player hasn't won MVP Super Bowl since 99? No, I don't care. I don't care. To me, I think that stuff, that's fun and all, but that's more coincidence than it is like causation and correlation. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Nate says, I called the onside kick as soon as I saw KC won the toss and elected to receive and said, you know, Nate, it's funny. Before they kicked that ball off, I was thinking the same thing. So I wonder if Jacksonville, knowing it probably has to do a few wonky things, if they're going to try to steal a possession right here. Unfortunately for the Chiefs, nobody on the Chiefs thought about that. But Nate, I was right there with you. TPT, how you doing, man? Hey, do you think that the following is realistic? Chiefs, Ravens, AFC title game. Niners, Eagles, NFC title game. Pat MVP, Jones defensive MVP. I mean, it's all realistic. Do I think it's all going to shake that way? No. I don't think Baltimore's getting the AFC championship game. The NFC one I could say. And Mahomes is the MVP right now. Jones, I mean, he's in the running. He's in the running. He's been phenomenal this year. Let's see. Seems like Ronald says, seems like since the trade deadline passed, it seems the D-line pass rush has stepped up. You think we'll have enough to work with the rest of the season? The plus, they're going to have to. I mean, Karlaftis still he's not getting sacks, but he's not playing poorly. Dunlap's been very good for them. Jones has been excellent. I think the adjustment that needs to be made is even when Clark is back now coming up this week, you got to get Dunlap in there. Even if it's rotating him in, in various spots for Karlaftis, that's fine. I also think it's time to just say, you know what, enough of Derek Nottie. It's time to play Colin Saunders. It's just time. It's time to play Colin Saunders. The guy has been a wrecking machine this year inside when he's played. It's time. Nothing against Derek Nottie. I'm not saying you can't put him in on first down. Or it's enough. He needs to be on the bench when Saunders is going after the quarterback. All right, Stacy, my guy. Stacy, I'm going to. By the way, actually, there's a perfect time here. So, quick fun announcement. If anybody has any questions, just tweet at me about it. But I am coming to Kansas City. I will be out there for the Sunday night game when the Chiefs play at Denver. The Arrowhead Addict podcast will be there. We'll be at Tanner's Barn Grill just over the state line in Kansas. We've announced this on the pod yesterday, and I think one other time. But I just want to say, listen, I'm going to be out there with Patrick Allen, Sterling Holmes. I believe Matt Connor's going to be there as well. We're working on that. But if you live out in KC, come hang out with us. We're going to be doing a show all day that Sunday. Or, we'll be out there for the pregame, the postgame, the halftime show. We're going to be out there meeting and greeting, hanging out. I'm going to be out there from Friday night on. So I'm going to be there for like 3 days. So, hey, let's meet up. Let's hang out. Would love to see everybody. That'd be a lot of fun. I bring that up because Stacy's question, and I know Stacy, you're my guy, man. We'll have to get together when we're out in KC. Was Kadarius Tony's performance yesterday a product of his skill set or more having a new weapon? Coordinators don't have much tape on. Good call. I think a little bit of both, but I think it's clear Mahomes wants to get him the football. I think Mahomes wants to get him the ball. Like there were a couple of times Mahomes threw the ball to him and just trusted him, especially that sideline throw, right? Like Tony brings something to the Chiefs that they don't have, which is a guy with a lot of speed who can run a lot of routes. That is a dangerous combination with a guy like Mahomes. And I know when they acquired him, the thought was like, hey, look, he's going to be a nice piece. We'll mix him in here and there, but he's, for the future. Turns out, future's apparently now because he looks really good. So that has been a great pickup by Veach early on here. Let's see, 1 of 4. Will other teams have to work hard on not letting Tony get open enough to crawl 10 yards into the end zone? Yeah, my God, was he open. He could have literally walked in the end zone. So that was funny. And then, of course, he hopped in instead of walking. Tony was good, but he seems like he was getting cocky. Those punt returns, scary close to making a mistake. Latrell, I'm with you on that, man. There were a couple times back there. I'm like, bro, stop trying to field the ball off a bounce. Like, get out of the way. I don't care if the Chiefs' offense is going extra 5 yards. Get out of the way. He was a little cocky with those. He was. Alan, is it just me or are other teams allowed to body slam and have high dangerous tackles on us with no possibility of being penalized? No, I don't think that's the case. But look, again, I don't call out officials very often. I just think it's a loser's ballad. It's not my style. I'm not saying maybe wrong to do it. It's just not how I do it. That no call on Smith-Schuster is one of the worst no calls I've ever seen. You threw a flag. Cisco didn't even put his arms out to tackle him. Like, he literally just lowered his head and hit him like a missile. And you picked up the flag. It wasn't even like you didn't call it. You actually called it. And then said, we're all right. We're good. I don't get it, man. I'll tell you what. I thought when Cisco picked off Mahomes at the end of the game, I thought somebody was going to try to put him into next month, even if they took a penalty at that point in the game. I thought that was coming. I'm glad they didn't do that, but I thought it was coming. Chiefs Chaos. How do you think McDuffie's played so far? I thought he has played well. I think he's been great. I think he's been great so far. Honestly, I think he's been excellent. I don't think you could ask any more of him. He's looked the part of a first rounder and then some. Dallas. Does our loss come in another trap game? I thought Jacksonville might be the trap game. Coming off of Sunday Night Football, you found a way to win. You get the Chargers on another primetime game next week. Chiefs handled it. I don't know how many trap games are all left because, like, who really are they? You know, you're not going to be, it's not a trap game in the division. Like, they're 4 divisional games. I don't think those are trap games. So that's half your schedule. Seattle's good enough. They're not a trap game. I guess it would be Houston. I don't see them losing to Houston. I don't see the Chiefs could play that like it's a trap game and win by 20 points. All right, let's keep going. D-Man Chief says, who would be your picks for Super Bowl? Before the year, I had the Bills and the Packers. I am taking the Packers off the board. I would take Philly. Man, I've been with the Bills all year on this one. But, man, like I'm really getting to the point of concern about Buffalo. Like, really concerned about them. To the chagrin of all Chiefs fans, I will stay with the Bills right now. But I will say this. If the Bills and the Chiefs played tomorrow, I would take Kansas City to beat them. And I don't care where the game is. I want to see how the Bills play once they get healthy defensively. But yeah, the Bills have issues. And you know what? I'll say this. Whoever to me gets the 1 seed in the AFC has a big advantage. So if the Chiefs hold it, I would pick the Chiefs. If the Bills get it, I'd pick the Bills. If the Ravens get it, I would pick whatever seed is higher, the Chiefs or the Bills. All right. Let me make sure I'm not missing anybody. Do you have any insight into Josh Allen's recent struggles? Do you think this is a product of his injury or something? No, he was hurt. He was hurt against the Jets late in the game, but he struggled before that. I think, again, the Bills are asking him to do way too much. They're asking him to do way too much, and I think he's starting to force the ball. I just think he's starting to get in this mentality where I've got to make every play, every down. If I don't do it, nobody's going to. And it's costing him. I'll get a few more questions here, and then I'm going to jump over to the Twitter side. I've not forgotten about you guys. I will get your questions. Alex, do you think the talking heads on TV actually believe Allen is better than Mahomes, or do you think they just do it for the hot takes and the clicks and the views? Combination. I think some guys actually believe it. I think some guys just say things. I also think some of these guys literally don't even watch football, and they just get their takes from their staffers who give them sheets of paper with takes on them. I firmly believe that. Epic. Hey, man, how you doing? If Juju is out for an extended period, who do you think will need to step up in that secondary role behind Kelsey? I think it's a combination. MVS, Tony, Hardman. Those are the main guys. And I think they can do it. I think they'd be all right. Let's see. Let's see. Mr. Flock, Ravens fan. How you doing, man? Last week, Shannon picked the Ravens over Chiefs and Niners over Eagles, with the Ravens winning it all. And Skip picked the Bengals over the Chiefs and the Bucks over the Cowboys. Well, it's nice to know that Skip hasn't changed. He picks the Bucks to win it all. Okay, great. Thanks, Skip. Thanks for contributing. Sam, who on the Chargers will be returning from injury? Bosa, I don't think Bosa's ready to come back yet. Williams or Allen, it's a wait-and-see deal. Wait-and-see deal. Don't know yet. David Whitlock. Hey, Matt, I am a bit concerned that our D is not able. Oh, I lost it. Hold on. That our D is not able to generate any interceptions. You attribute that to the secondary being so young. I don't know what I'd attribute it to, but yeah, the Chiefs got to take the ball away a little bit more. That's been a problem for them this year. They've not taken the ball away very much. They've got to be better than that. And I think the defense has been okay this year. I think it's been average. That would elevate them. But I got to be fair. They haven't had a bunch of drop picks either. It's I think, quite honestly, part of it's been early in the year when they had all these guys moving in and out and everything. They weren't that close to the ball. Now I think they're better and closer to the ball, but guys have not thrown a bunch of balls that should have been picked. I mean, Snead, I think, had one against the Niners he could have picked. There's been a few, but not many. It's a little bit of that's luck too. Like there's going to be a game this year they have like 4 takeaways. It's just going to happen. Okay, which team would be the worst matchup for the Chiefs in the playoffs? Asks Backpage. In the AFC, I think it's got to be Buffalo. It's got to be. I mean, Buffalo to me is the other best team, so I would say them. The Bengals always scare you because of all the weapons. The Dolphins, the same thing, but the Bills are better than those teams. I would say that Buffalo is. All right, let's see. Jay Davis, what progression do you see with Tony? A little more every week, and what does it mean for Moore's development? Sky Moore, I think this year is basically taking a redshirt year. That's happening at this point. I wouldn't fret about it. I wouldn't even waste your time. Check back with him in training camp. Every once in a while, he'll get out there and make a play, but for right now, he's like the 5th receiver. For Tony, look, I mean, he's been great so far. I think they're going to keep feeding him. They'd be insane not to. I think they're going to keep getting him the ball. They clearly want to do it, and it's been working. I think you're going to see him integrated more and more every week. All right. Let's see. Twins says DB's feeling a bit disjointed from the line and the linebackers, and for some reason it makes zone coverage for like 10 guys on D instead of feeling like 11. I hate when they get in zone coverage. They're too good at corner. Get in man coverage. Get on the line and press. Go after them. I will hate zone coverage for the rest of my life. Cannot stand it. Mike, I disagree. It's since he's a trap game. Let me tell you something right now. Okay. If there is one game that they are going to want to absolutely whip up on somebody, it is going to be that game. They, believe me, have not forgotten that AFC title game. If there's ever a game that Mahomes wants to throw for 500 yards and score 50 points, that's it. They are going to be hot. Look, I think that's the hard game they have left. And at the same point, in a weird way, it might be the game I'm most confident they will win. Not because I don't think Cincinnati's good. I think Cincinnati's really good. But if there is a game they are going to be higher than all hell for, it is going to be that game. They are going to want to go out and beat the brakes off Cincinnati in that game. Chase or no chase, if the Bengals want to win that game, they better bring it because Kansas City is going to unload with everything it's got. Okay, let's see. Let me make sure. 1 of 5 says Houston better not be a trap game. I'm going to. Bro, it might be a trap game. It also might be full of Chiefs fans. I do not think they will lose that game. I would be shocked. All right. Let's Butker, mental or physical right now? I think it's physical, man. He said he's not healthy, and I believe him. I think it truly is physical right now. Okay. Buy or sell, Stacy. Prince Dega, pushing Wiley for snaps to right tackle down the stretch. I'm selling right now, but I thought he played well. And if he has to play a few more games with the sprained elbow for Wiley, then I might buy. But right now, I'm selling. Eric says we only use our 8-game playbook against NFC teams. Teams we might see again, we use our generic playbook. I have bought into that more and more this year with the Chiefs, the way they've played. I got to tell you, I'm sticking with my. And by the way, I think you're going to see that this week. The Chiefs know they can finish this division this week. I think they are going to unload with all they've got on the Chargers and the Bengals, 2 of these next 3 games. I think the Chiefs know that if they win those 2 games, they got a damn good shot at not only being a 1 seed, maybe running the table. They also know if they win this week, this division is over. I think it's over anyway at this point. I think the Chargers losing last night pretty much finished the job. But my God, if the Chiefs win this game, it's over. I think you're going to see Andy in this week. They're going to go into their bag in this game. They're going to go into their bag on offense, and they are going to try to do everything they can to put the Chargers down for the count. How do you feel about McKinnon being RB1? I think he's their best running back, but I don't think he's going to get carries like an RB1 because they need him on 3rd down. And I think they will save him for the playoffs because they know he's got a history of getting hurt. How much of a fun thriller do you think the Super Bowl would be with the Chiefs and Vikings? Who would you take to win and why? Oh, I think it'd be a thriller for the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs would steamroll Minnesota. Minnesota's defense is terrible. And Cousins is not beating Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Man, I think the Chiefs, you would sign for that game 11 times out of 10. All right, let's see. Is Clyde's days numbered? I don't know if they're numbered, but I think as a starter, they're finished. Is Niang close to returning? If Wiley is out, do you go Niang or Prince Tega? Niang if he's healthy. Niang if he's healthy. But I think Niang a few more weeks. I think at least. All right, Latrell. I'm surprised. No questions on Beckham yet. Hey, I know, right? It's a miracle. When is he coming to visit KC? I don't know, but I can tell you that they are interested in bringing him in. Although Tony's ascension might mute that a little bit. I'll have to check back in, do a little work there. Let's see. All right, let me get to the Twitter questions here. Appreciate everybody being so patient on the Twitter side of things. What does Hurts have to do to become the front runner at MVP? I got to tell you, look, I think they've got to go undefeated because he's not going to surpass Mahomes statistically. Like if they go 17-0, then I think Hurts is the MVP. Otherwise, I think it's a stretch for him. But he's been amazing. I love his game. Rohit, is it officially over for CH and KC? I think it's over as a starter. I think yesterday told you all you need to know. I think they've moved on. Josh, hey man, how you doing? Been high on Prince Tega since he was in college. Without injuries, he seems like a real dude at right tackle. Any chance Heck rolls with him, even if others are healthy? Look, there's a chance. I know I've twice kind of said I think they'll go back to Wiley just because they're big on continuity. I think there's a chance. Like I wouldn't rule it out. I wouldn't bet on it, but would I be shocked? No, I wouldn't be shocked. Josh also asked, I'm admittedly higher on Thornhill than some, even with his tackling issues, but I feel like the Chiefs will let him walk or lowball him. Thoughts? I think the Chiefs are going to have a very set price with him. And if he's willing to go with that, fine. If not, fine. Juan Thornhill is a good deep middle safety, single high, cover two safety. He's good at that. He's very good at ranging to make plays. He's a terrible tackler. And so he's limited in what he can do. That would be my thought. I think they have interest in bringing him back, but I don't think it's going to be. I think it'd be at their price. PM15 thoughts on Tony yesterday. And what's the ceiling for him? I think the ceiling for him right now is wide receiver 2 behind Juju. I don't think he's higher than that, but he's playing great. Got to be excited about it. He was awesome yesterday. Would bringing Beckham hinder the promising start of Tony? Asks Rohit. No, I think it would probably hinder Hardman more than anybody. That would be my guess. Andrew, Chiefs versus Vikings Super Bowl 4 rematch. What do you think? It's my preseason picks. Also, anything on OBJ to the Chiefs yet? Nope, nothing yet. Still working through a whole bunch of options. He's got more than half dozen options right now, guys. He's got a lot of places to pick from. And if the Chiefs and the Vikings play in the Super Bowl again, I think you'd have a similar result Super Bowl 4, except with a lot more points. Brian, what's the biggest thing that stands between the Chiefs and the Lombardi Trophy? Themselves. If they play their best game, they win. They win. They're the best team in football right now. I even though, look, they're second in my power rankings behind Philly because I respect the fact Philly's undefeated. If the Chiefs play their best game, they're better than anybody in football. But that has been a problem for the Chiefs at times. Let's be honest. All right. Get back to the questions here on the video side. Cleared out the Twitter questions. Diego, how has life been, Matt? No, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to ask. Good. Looking forward to Thanksgiving next week. Looking forward to that coma nap after the old turkey. Be the first Thanksgiving I have to work in about 7 years. I'm not even kidding. And then afterwards, I'm that guy who goes Black Friday shopping and just gets every gift, and then I'm done. And then I can just enjoy the Christmas season without having to worry, like, oh, God, I didn't get Uncle Ned a gift. When in reality, you're like, oh, God, I got to get Ned a gift. That's when you go to the old gift card, corner, and you're like, hey, $25 at Dunkin' Donuts. Seems right. But no, life's good. I can't wait to get to KC and see a bunch of you guys here in a few weeks. That'll be a lot of fun. Adam, do you have any game day rituals? Are Sundays just sun up to sundown football for you watching Red Zone? I don't really watch a lot of Red Zone. I feel like I can't get a grip on the game. I like to watch a game and get the flow of it and get the emotion of it. So I don't watch a lot of Red Zone. Every once in a while, if the slate really stinks, I will. I don't do that often. It is football. For me, football, my day starts at about 10:45 in the morning, and it ends at about 3 o'clock on Monday morning. So it's a long one. I slept till like noon today. I actually slept through a meeting. I apologize to FanSided. I hope they understand. But no, game day rituals, no. I tell you what, I really don't eat much on Sundays. Like I'm so consumed with football that I usually my first meal on Sunday is just like dinner. maybe I'll have like a couple of chips. That's about it. So yeah, I'm boring in that regard, man. Future, looking at Justin Jefferson's performance, who do you think would be the best receiver with Mahomes? I don't think it's gonna be Justin Jefferson. If you could choose any of the active players, Jamar Chase, I think would be ridiculous. I think he had 2,000 yards a year. They just be throwing it up to him, be unbelievable. Jay Ward, any word on if OBJ is wanting a multi-year deal or if he's wanting 20 mil a year? I think only the Cowboys go off for that. I don't think, first of all, the rest of this year, he's not getting a $20 million contract. He's getting, some prorated, handful of million. I don't think he's getting a multi-year deal. I'd be very surprised. I'd be very surprised. Matt, the three best AFC and NFC teams right now. Love the content. Thanks, man. Three best AFC. Give me the Kansas City, Buffalo, and Miami in that order. And in the NFC, give me Philly, San Francisco, and Minnesota in that order. All right. Thoughts on Leo Chenal? Asked Gonzo. He's getting better. He's getting better week in and week out. He's faster to the point of attack. You can tell he's a little more confident. He's reading and reacting better. I think he's done well. He's been a nice addition to the team in early down situations. Like, he's got a long way to go, but I think you're starting to see why they drafted him. He's starting to trust his eyes more, and it showed yesterday. He got his first career sack. He had another play behind the line of scrimmage. All right, let me see. Alan, what are the rules in the NFL regarding players returning from concussion protocol, considering what happened with Tua? So they got to go through. It's a 5-step protocol. They've got to go through a battery of tests, one step at a time. The last step's getting on the field, and then the next day still being asymptomatic. There's a variety. Like I said, it's 5 steps, but within each step, there are additional mini steps, if you will. So they're going to have to clear a lot of these things. Could he play this upcoming Sunday? Maybe. But right now, if you're the Chiefs, you just want him healthy, man. You want him 100% healthy. They can beat the Chargers with or without Juju. They got to be healthy. I think that's right now, that's where they've got to be. But we'll see. It's encouraging that it seems like he's doing really well right now. And you just hope that the guy can come back and get back as soon as possible, 100% healthy. Stacy, if you had to give out the Mackley Hill Award today, which Chiefs rookie would get it? Good question. I got to go Jalen Watson, man. He's been balling all year long. He stepped up in a big spot for them, and he's been nails. How about that? A 7th-round pick. And not because the draft class stinks either. Like, normally, oh, my God, a 7th-round pick. McDuffie's been really good, but he's been, he's hurt. I think Cook's been solid, but he's not the best rookie they have. Pacheco's been another 7th-round pick who's been good, but he's not the best rookie they've had. Yeah, I'd go with, and Joshua Williams has been really good as a 4th-round pick, and Carl Loftus hasn't been bad. He just doesn't have the sack numbers. I would go with Watson. I think he deserves it. I'm the Brown super chat. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate that very much. The defense is playing good, but why aren't they generating any turnovers? I think some of that's luck. Some of that's just not getting their hands on enough footballs. But yesterday they had a handful where they batted balls up in the air. It just didn't fall to them. I mean, I think some of that eventually is gonna turn around. They will at some point here. If they continue to get their hands on footballs, get in the lanes, they will eventually pick off some passes here. But I'm with you. They got to get more turnovers. All right, Jake, when and where are we having the Arrowhead Addict watch party in Kansas City? So it is going to be December 11th at the Tanner Bar and Grill in Kansas. Follow this channel, subscribe to it. Make sure you're following me as well on Twitter. I will definitely get all that information out to you guys, like the exact location. I know there's more than one Tanner's, but it's in Kansas, right over the state line. They're being gracious enough to let us have the party there. It's going to be for the Sunday night game in Denver again on December 11th. I can't wait to see everybody there. I will be in Kansas City for like 3 days. So if you'd like to find me, I will either be at a bar enjoying some fine food and drink, or I will be at a barbecue joint just sweating like 4 pounds of burn ends. So I will be in town. I'd love to see everybody. I'm all for it. All right, let's keep rolling here. Preston, I missed your question. Sorry, man. Did you see the video of Tony adjusting his gloves? Yes, I did. Very nice. Jacob also asked, apparently Andy said Clyde not getting touches was not intentional. Do you buy that? No, I don't buy that. What, they just forgot he was on the team? Come on. No, I don't buy it for 2 seconds. TPT, hey, Matt, been trying to get you a jersey for my business for like a year, but don't know how to get a hold of you. Let me know what you want. Hey, man, listen, that is an incredibly nice offer, and I appreciate it. I would rather, if you're going to give away a jersey, give it to somebody who's out there who desperately wants one. Not that I don't listen. I have plenty of jerseys. I mean, hell, I got jerseys hanging on my wall in the other office. Not my other office, but my other room downstairs. I got the whole wall is covered with autographed jerseys and whatnot. That's such a nice offer, Jaden, and I appreciate the heck out of it. But if you want, we can work on getting one to somebody, and maybe get one to a kid who doesn't have much for the holidays, right? That would be, I think, the best way to go. That'd be a damn nice thing to do. All right, so let's talk. Let's chat. Just email me, man. Just email me. Matt.Verderame@Fansided. Let's make it happen. Epic says, hey, Matt, would you be concerned the potential addition of OBJ would upset the balanced chemistry? By the way, thank you for all the additional content this year. You guys today are crushing it. Thanks, man. Doing the best we can. There's always a chance you upset the apple cart a little bit when you bring in somebody, right? But I think if you're the Chiefs, if you get a chance to bring in Odell Beckham, it's another weapon. I wouldn't hate it. Keep adding. I think most guys now are going to be pretty jacked up to that OBJ. Chandler, thoughts on Justin Fields lately? Do you think he's the future in Chicago if they can build around? Yeah, I do. That kid, look, great arm, can run for days. He's a leader. He's a winner. Ultra impressed with the kid as a person. Yeah, I mean, now it's on the Bears. Now it's on the Bears to build around him. That would be how I'd fall on that one. All right. Let's see. Levi, yesterday, the defensive ranks amongst other teams, I didn't realize were fit against the rush. What's been different about this year? They've gotten gashed sometimes when teams go heavy, but the Chiefs have been really good out of their nickel and dime defenses. That's been the difference. All right. Jake says, Tanner's Bar and Grill, literally right behind your apartment. All right, good, man. We're going to be there. Like I said, I will be in KC. I'm going to get there Friday night, the 9th. And I'm going to be there all Friday night, 10th. Party. Let's get together. I'll be hanging around. Happy to see people. Can you see the Buccaneers turning around and going deep in the NFC? I don't. No. I don't think they're good enough. I don't think they're better than Philly. I don't think they're better than Dallas. I don't think they're better than San Francisco. I can see them turning it around to the extent that they win a playoff game, but I don't think they're going to the Super Bowl. TPT, can I DM you on Twitter, Matt? Yeah, just tweet at me so I can follow you. And then you can shoot me a DM. Let's see. Jacob, apparently no teams ever won the Super Bowl after losing to Kirk Cousins. RIP Buffalo. If that's true, that's hilarious. Have you received any of the Mahomes Magic Crunch or Kelsey Crunch series? Yeah, somebody sent me a box of Mahomes Magic Crunch, actually. Very nice guy. Sent me a very heartfelt letter about how much he appreciates the content, and he sent me a box of that cereal. Yeah, he did. It was very nice. Appreciate it very much. Okay, Donnie, do you think Chris Jones should be in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation? Absolutely. Yes, he's been that good. He absolutely should be in the conversation. Gonzo, where would you rank Andy Reid on the most handsome coaches in the NFL? Number 1, man, Big Red. He's a magnet. All right, let me see. I make sure I'm not missing any questions here on Twitter. Edric, Saunders keeps balling on this line right now. The D is pretty middle of the pack. Do you think this D has what it takes to turn it up like they did during the Super Bowl? I do, actually. I think they're really young and they're getting healthy. Yes, I do. I think they could crank it up in that regard. I do. All right, few more here. Thomas, do you think Josh McDaniels has a job for the season ends? I do. You talk to people in the league, and there's an expectation he's coming back next year. Now, look, this thing goes totally off the rails. They go 3-14. I don't know. But when Derek Carr's up there talking about how he doesn't feel that there are some guys giving effort, yikes. I'll tell you what, if it was my call, he wouldn't be back on my team. He wouldn't have been there in the first place. I never understood why they hired him. I've got receipts. I said that all off season. I never understood that hire, and I still don't. Shane Falco, Replacements. Awesome movie. Hey, Matt, love the show. Would love to see the Chiefs get a marquee edge rusher on a long-term contract next offseason, and glad we held tight at the trade deadline. Any free agent names come to mind? I have to look. I'll be totally honest with you. I have to look. Nobody immediately jumps to mind. But I think the Chiefs, look, edge should be a spot that they keep looking at. Because, Dunlap's gone after this year. Clark's gone after this year. Now, of course, you can bring one of them back. But, yeah. Worst situation right now, Raiders or Broncos? The Broncos, because of Wilson. That contract's impossible. That contract is impossibly bad. The Chiefs and Broncos get moved off Sunday Night Football on December 11th. Well, we're going to be in Kansas City. I hope not. If it does, by the way, it'll just be a late afternoon game. We'll do the show then. But I don't think they're going to flex Mahomes out, man. I think they're flexing him out. I'd be surprised. I really would. I doubt it. I doubt it. All right. Got all the questions. Handled them all. Glad to have done it again. Week 10 will be in the books tonight. Week 11 starts on Thursday night with the Packers and Titans. Pretty good game. Pretty interesting game in Lambeau. I'm excited, man. It's the time of the year. You start getting revved up. It's Thanksgiving in a week and a half. Start really looking at things and, all right, now what's the playoff picture look like? What are the breakers? Who's playing who? Who's got an easy schedule? Who's got a tough one? It's awesome. I love this time of year. And if you're a Chiefs fan, like most of you are listening, I'm sure, it's a really good time of year. If you're a team that has a contender, you're a fan of a team that has a contender, man, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. All right. I'll get the quick ones here real quick that I see in the chat that I did not get to. Chandler, depending on longevity, do you think Mahomes ends up with all the major accolades? I think he's going to have a chance. I'd put it that way. It's too early in his career. I think he's going to have a chance. Don't they have to move it too many primetime games? No, they do not. They do not. No, the Chiefs actually still have one more. Frank Clark's back in suspension. Do you think he makes much of an impact the remainder of the year? So. I think he'll make an impact. I don't think he'll make a huge impact. I think he'll make a moderate impact. Jay Ward, how are you guys going to work the show if people come hang out at Tanner's? Just curious how it's going to go. We're working on exactly like all the little mechanisms, but we're going to be there for the pregame, postgame, and halftime show. And otherwise, we're just going to be hanging out with you guys. We're going to be hanging out watching the game, just chilling. You're gonna get to see what I'm like during an actual game, like when we're not on a podcast. That'll be interesting. See if I have a job after it. Is Carr playing for the Raiders next year? And if not, where's the likelihood? I don't know if he comes back, man. He may even just behind the scenes be like, look, I'm done. He loves being a Raider, but man, it's been ugly. And if he doesn't go there, I'd have to look. I can't off the top of my head, man. I can't think about it. Oh my God, the Colts have Ryan for $35 million next year. So it's tough. It's tough to say. My producer's saying the Jets. Maybe I don't know. I'd have to really think about it. I don't want to just give an answer like off the cuff. Washington? I don't know. Jay Ward, I want to see you live tweet during a game. No, you don't. And I don't either. Canadian Chiefs by 7 over Chargers team. Right? It's a big line. It's a big line. But yeah, I don't hate it. I think the Chiefs are going to give it all they've got this week. I really do. I'd be very surprised if not. Gonzo, if the Chiefs came to you and asked you for a new color scheme, what 3 colors would you choose? I would, if the Chiefs did that, I'd file a class action lawsuit. Don't ever change those uniforms. Ever. I won't even go there, Gonzo. It's blasphemy. Levi, if you had to guess, how many rings do you think Mahomes ends up with? 4. I mean, he's just phenomenal. You know what? Actually, I'll say 3. I'll say 3 because 4 is just. I mean, Brady, Montana, and Bradshaw are it, right? They've ever gotten a 4. That's just so hard, especially in this era. Like Bradshaw and Montana did it in a different era. I'll say 3. But like, man, 4 wouldn't shock me. I think the over/under line's like 3.5. All right. Is Tony money or what? Yeah, he's been pretty damn good so far. All right, guys. Thank you for listening to this AMA, the Ask Me Anything on the Arrowhead Addict podcast, and also just live my spaces on Twitter. It's a little crossover. You get the Chiefs mostly. You get other teams as well. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please give it a like. I will be back tomorrow on the Stack in the Box podcast. Another thing to please subscribe to. Yes, I'm asking you to do a lot. Please do it. I've talked for 50 minutes straight. I'm doing my best. I look forward to chatting with all of you tomorrow. It's Sterling Holmes as we break down the entire league. Week 11 on the horizon. Unbelievable. Hey, everybody, take care. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, and we'll chat again real soon.